Hello, dear friends. Very good evening to all. In this video, we are going to discuss about different issues which are related to the access of information. Earlier in my class for the online students, I already discussed this topic, but here in this video, I will try to explain it into smaller bits. Let's get started with the video first. So, when we say about access to information, it simply means that we are dealing with information, we're dealing with data. So it is obvious that with the advent of science and technology, we have come to such an age or such a society is being formed, which is also called an information society. And in this information society, you will find that people, access information through different mediums. So information, in order to get, in order to reach to the last person of the queue, it travels through different mediums. So today, if you have, an overload of information, you also have different mediums of information in order to get those, right? So now, why all of a sudden are we discussing about information and specifically the, issues related to the access of information? Why? It is simply because, if you compare today the society that we are living into with the earlier society, I mean, not, let's get back to so earlier period of, early man hunting period. Let's, forward to a bit forward to the agricultural period, where you will find that the society was divided into two social categories: elites and the non-elite section. So earlier, information were also there, right? The difference between the information during those days and today is that the amount of information has increased today. Earlier, there was a sufficient amount of information. Even you'll find that there was a limited number of channels earlier, taking information to the people door to door. Today you have different mediums of channels too. Now, earlier it was, supposed to believe that information is only under the control of the people who are elites. So if you are educated, if you are literate, if you are in a power of control, then only you can have access to the information. So it was believed in that way. But today, if you find, you can get access to the information irrespective of any background that person has, right? Earlier, non-elite person were, they could not access the information that the elite section were having, right? But today you will not find that the information was, today the information is not divided into different sections or into, based on the different social categories or any, social backgrounds of human beings. So this was this was the situation when, access to information was a problem, and this is the situation where you are, observing, where you are very much witness to the change, where you do not have any problem of access to the information. But even, even if I say that we do not have any problem of access to the information, but it is because that we have access to the information, problems have arisen. So now we have to discuss all those issues here. So what are the problems that have actually arisen only because we have different channels in order to get access to the information? So today, the different channels that have developed over the years, from radio to television to internet, so it has given us, ample of ample of, opportunities in order to explore different nature of information, right? So let's find out, why are we, why are we discussing about the problems of access to information? When I say problems of access to information, definitely we no longer have any problem in accessing the information, but the problem has arisen after getting access to the information. So let's find out what are the problems that we have to face today, right, in this world. So This is very clear when we say that problems have arisen after we get access to the information. That means in today's world you will have to, right, or we are actually dealing with a large amount of information, and it becomes quite impossible to get through each and every information, I mean scrutiny each and every information, and then uh, and then uh, understand it and then accept it, right? So there is an issue where you find that whether that information is valid or not, because there is a huge set of amount of information today. So we need someone to help in order to get those information scrutinized, right? And we have never tried to find out any other source, or any source other than the media. So media has been helping us over the years in order to, taking information to us in the very easiest way. And we have become so dependent upon the media that whatever the information that the media is, giving, or what the media is presenting, we are taking that information. So while doing so, over the years, it has become like, we are at the expense of the cost of our own satisfaction, we are satisfying the media goals. Are you getting my point? I'm trying to explain that how, in order to, get the information, the accurate information, we have become dependent upon the media. And while we have done so, we have been doing so, the things have reached to such a position where we are today misperceiving the real world, misperceiving the reality, and starts to, misunderstanding the true nature of this world, because we are seeing from the eyes of the media today. We are seeing the way the media is presenting the information. So media is presenting the information in different way. So there is such a huge amount of information, when we individual as an individual, we have failed in order to, get scrutiny of all those information. It's not that media has remained successful in scrutinizing all this information. Media has also failed severely scrutinizing the information, but they are presenting such information from their own perspective, which we believe that that is the information which has been scrutinized by someone that we can take. And this becomes a process, a habitual action, where we repeatedly falls a victim of the media dependence. We develop, we start to lose, our own self-esteem somewhere, and become very trustworthy of the media. And in these relationship of media and the human beings, we are becoming, or we are developing a very weaker skill, which is to depend on the media. So this is a problem. This is a problem after getting access to the information. There is so huge amount of information that we could not access them at once, or we are unable to scrutinize each and every information, and as a result we're depending on the media, and we are taking the information the way the media is presenting that, right? And in a way, we are not looking the world from our own perception. We are not reaching to the goal from our own, we are not satisfying our own goal, but we are adding to the satisfaction of the media. So now what else? What are more problems while, getting access to the information? It's not only about this, that the information has increased, or the amount of information has, it has doubled, tripled, but the production of information has also accelerated. You will find today that one information is being presented in 100,000 different ways by different channels of medium. So if you just think that, okay, the information that you just missed out, you will find the same information somewhere a very next second in 100 different mediums, right? So it's not only that we have, great access to the information, we also have different forms of information today. The same information is being packaged into different ways, and then they are, they're reaching us. So it becomes a problem in order to, categorize whether, or in order to, decide whether to handle with the large amount of information or to handle with the large production of information, right? So this is quite a debatable issue, or you'll find that many people fall into dilemma whether which one should they solve the problem first, right? So we'll find out that what happens after that. So there is such a huge amount of information that we, develop this natural tendency of, avoiding the information. Now, how have we, reached to this stage of avoiding the information? We'll discuss in this slide. So when there is a huge amount of information, the first and foremost thing is it becomes impossible for us to keep up with the information. So when we do not keep up with the information, when we could not, even if we try, we could not keep up with the information, we could not cope up with the number of information that is flooding near our surroundings, we reach at such a level, well, it becomes, where we accept our failure. We accept our failure, we accept our war with the information, that we could not, take over the information. And there is a point which is called a saturation point. We reach a saturation point where we get tired, which is about, information fatigue. We get tired of the information. We do not want to discuss anything now. We do not want to discuss about information. So such a level of, point, such we reach to such a point, and as a result we, convert ourselves, from keeping up the information to avoiding the information. So this is where, we reach to such a level where we find it good, or where we find it right to avoid the information, so that we cannot, we or in future we do not find any problem in order to tackle with the information, right? So these were the important issues so far now that I have discussed in this video. In my next video, I'll be discussing about the information fatigue, how the information explosion has created an information fatigue, right? We'll explain that in my next video. So for now, thank you.